Micho na Mr. Somo akwa sonko so e channel so that's why a bear media je chabusua e be se wase ena de ko ni channel so a e be se wase be subscribe be like na wa bo anso ahye dwumadi wa person no be atie no anya bi atie na busua eye Boahen, yes, Boahen as say ya dey attorney general ba bonten cheso or the another fresh charges be dey abobo papa ya enya ansem keto a busua cheso this time round no cheso papa we case no awese na enye easy ensem no doso we dey ma make some person connect ensem a attorney general dey about bonten this time cheso ebi akwakofa Boahen wo cheso man case no awese na enya ansem keto yenti ensem no makasa nchema ma say ha that's why a bear media chabu se wase ena dey connect channel so a subscribe subscribe na notification bell no so come podcast updates abusia me pasa konya wo so ema official pa yes me mo official pa yenti ensem a course so emna sisia
dollars were transferred. Nobody is fighting. Nobody is saying that $7 million were not transferred. All right, from the public BNC into the private BNC, $7 million. The evidence is solid. The day my investigator takes the stand, you will see from his witness statement the documentary evidence, including bank transfer, advice. Okay, advice slips that show that $7 million was transferred. Counsel for Boahen, the Honorable Atachia, spent a lot of time cross-examining on the exchange rate. And that is where this whole issue about whether it was 7 million, it was 49 million, or it was, whatever. $7 million were transferred. All right. So the exchange rate for me is of no moment as far as my case is concerned. And ladies and gentlemen, take it from me. Even if I succeed in proving that one cedi, okay, Hanan, listen to me. You ask the question. Even if I succeed in proving that one cedi of public money was stolen, I have made my case. So this whole debate about how much was transferred or not is of no moment to me. From a purely criminal law point of view, it is of no moment to me. All right, the judge is not going to strike my case, throw my case out because I have not proven that exactly 49 million was stolen. Once I can prove that even one cedi was stolen, all right, he's guilty of stealing. All right. And for those of you in the media, I keep saying that ask the critical questions. If you have the access to the witness statements which we have filed, all right, ask yourself, okay, in March 2020, 16 million Ghana cedis was put into fixed deposit accounts in Kobna Boahen's name. Was that public expenditure of the money? I leave that question to you because I know everyone is watching, including the judge. I'm not going to comment on the matter in an adverse way, but I just want to ask the critical questions because what the strategy that Kobna Boahen and his acolytes in the social media and mainstream media have engaged in is to continuously misreport. At some point in time, I thought of bringing applications for contempt because they are undermining the very administration of justice. Have you ever seen or heard my deputy, the Honorable Justice Srimsai, commenting on the case after court? I have given him strict instructions. We don't do that. All right. We are the leaders of the bar. We must go by the ethical traditions of the bar. You don't comment on a case in a manner that adversely, affects the case that is being made in court. But this is what they have been doing. So they get bloggers, they pay everyone to be saying things that are not. So for instance, if you say, the evidence is now coming out that Ghana must go bags of money were being transferred. It's normal at the national security. For God's sake, I didn't say if you look at my case. I never said that Kobna Boahen stole money in Ghana must go bags. Have I made that case? So what is the relevance of the Ghana must go bags argument? All right, I leave it to you, to your judgment. But if you look at my case, there were bank transfers. And I also have evidence of how the money was spent. Okay? How the money was spent from March 2020 to August 2020, he had finished spending the $7 million. Whether you are whatever exchange rate of exchange you are using, the money was finished, and I have all the bank details, including transfers of 200,000, 100,000, who took it and what. I have all of that. All right. So please, the media, ask the critical questions of them, because I have briefed you, I have briefed Ghanaians, I have made my case, to the Ghanaian people. All right. Nothing has contradicted the evidence that I have presented. And mind you, there is no way that I, given my years of professional experience, will come and tell the Ghanaian people one thing when I do not have the evidence to prove it in court. All right. So you watch the space. When my investigator takes the stand, you will understand very well the case that we've made in court. And from all the cross-examination, I don't see anything that is relevant or damaging to the case that I have made in court.
You see, first of all,
people are joking with laws in this country.
I don't know whether when Kamal is coming here, he deliberately decides to set his own questions.
I didn't set my questions. Are you UP or NDC?
I'm UP. I am UP, and I'm a proud one as such.
You've never gone against NDC. That's why I'm asking you this question.
I see how excited you are with the judiciary. Today you are happy with the judiciary, Kamal.
I have criticized the NDC more than anybody in this country.
Okay.
And I'm proud of that. I have criticized President Mahama more than anybody. And I'm proud of that. Just that you have to be a responsible opposition party. You are not being a responsible opposition party. And you don't expect me as a responsible minority party to be joining an irresponsible opposition party. That's
but I find some sense in what Kamal is.
So last week,
they will never find sense. However, for you will.
The issue was that what the clerk did was right. He was only performing his constitutional mandate. Is that the case? What took place at the Supreme Court was not any determination
as to whether or not his actions constituted a breach of his, yeah.
What they said was that
but Kamal, that's true though.
The interested party has not been served.
Well, I've not seen the full document.
No, but the summary of it.
Yeah, the summary.
Go and serve. But the person has not been served. So all that you can do is to suspend. If a party to an action, you understand? I mean, they went on by notice. So you have to notify that party who is involved in the matter. You have not served, so how can any action go on? That is all they did.
Is it becoming difficult?
The people deliberately decided not to go and serve the man.
Hey!
These people,
how can you do this? You allow this to go on.
Okay, so now, but you, Kamal, I allowed you to say
I'm speaking. Look,
you're speaking.
And you see, one interesting thing this morning. Look, one day shall never end. That Kamal Dean, Deputy Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party, is praising Justice Scott Poaman.
Oh, he's the judge of this country.
Jesus Christ. You remember what happened during the Tokolo matter? How they took Justice Scott Poaman to the clinic? And today, even with this ruling, with the ruling at the High Court, you remember what these same people, MPP, you were in this country, when Afenyo Maki, together with the minority, called the judiciary kangaroo. Under 3 weeks, the same people, that's why Ghanaians must be so careful. They must be so careful with this new patriotic party that they can easily change 360 degrees.
Look, don't do this. Speak to the matter.
I'm speaking to the matter. I'm speaking to the matter.
Stop what you are saying.
You see, these parties, you and I were in MPP. You know how they taught us, so don't worry. Oh. You understand? That described the judiciary as kangaroo only yesterday, all their lawyers, they were praising the judges. And mind you, those that sat on the matter, Justice Yoni Kulende, Asiedu, Poaman, Amadou Tanko. These are people that the MPP ordinarily have described them as people that do not support their cause.
Now, back to the suspension.
The suspension is normal. It affords them the opportunity of serving the other party. They have to go to court. I have said that if they are wrong, they are wrong. There's no way the judiciary must force anything on them. But from how they are behaving, it seems to me, and I'm very sure, that they are afraid to go for the rerun. And I've said that Yindam must not invest a penny should the court clear the way for a rerun, because it will be an emphatic victory for the other candidate. The reason being that it is their time. This is the era of the NDC. Anything they do becomes a star. So you cannot fight the wave. That is what they must understand.
Now you understand why I say he's a NDC, not UP.
Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Head of NDC,
No,
not head of
what
UP.
are we discussing?
When Dr. Zato was being accused of being MPP, he didn't come out.
No, I don't have a problem that whatever you describe is their modus operandi. I understand this game very well. Even we have an MPP member here who disguised himself as a political star. He's running away from the party. I'm as a United Party. What name did you give to me? What was my title? Director of what? Communications of the United Party. I speak to facts. The mere fact that it does not agree with your position. Of course, if I agree with your position, I will still be in the MPP. Is that not the case?
Right.
We are being responsible opposition party. The mere fact that you are in opposition, that doesn't mean that anytime you come here, even if it is white, come out, you should come and say it's black. That will not be countenized. You understand? We will make sure that
you are rather spewing out what is black.
The Supreme Court is right on that.
You are spewing out what is black.
I believe that our brothers, having praised the Supreme Court, will learn from it. They will learn how to be decorous, how to ensure that they always speak truth.
Okay.
The substantive case, they say 13th January, you'll be in this country and see what happens.
Hamza, first of all, I indulge you as a lawyer before a politician. The suspension of the rerun.
All right, for offer me no when you go so I watch no. You best subscribe it. No like no share me day. I'm a from so inside to me Akabi. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so any update we be drop down one so inside to me Akabi busa for offer me no in simple good. I am going to see in some door or the two that I will offer me no so.
Legal tussle. That's
It
what's
is
happening.
not equivalent to vacation of the High Court ruling or sudden declaration of validity on the part of the former MP Martin Yundam. As far as
Nobody has said so anyway.
What has been suspended has to do with the elections that was scheduled to take place on the 30th of this month. And so Matthew Nyindam still remains an MP who cannot go to Parliament as far as the clerk's letter is concerned.
It does not reverse.
It does not. It does not. It does not reverse. It's just what has been suspended has to do with the election that was scheduled to take place on the 30th. So he is still a persona non grata, as we say in law, as far as the Parliament of Ghana is concerned. So that's why I was a little bit concerned about the submissions of my brother and the sudden excitement.
I didn't say that.
That's what you said.
If you listen,
That's the important what they say. That's all the important what.
What I said was that judicial process while on, whatever actions is put to stop. But I didn't say he should go back to Parliament.
But actions included, the actions included restoring the NAM to Parliament.
Let's have Hamza.
I didn't say so.
So
the matter has not been looked at. Just process.
There's a need for us to contextualize this matter. And for me, it presents two major strands. The first strand being the sudden feel of glory and confidence in our judicial architecture. Every Ghanaian must be excited about it. Every Ghanaian must be excited, irrespective of our partisan affiliations.
Speak to the matter.
This government joined the good people of this country to raise issues about how our judiciary was working in the past, where political operatives had strange influence over our judicial architecture, where attorney generals of our republic, paid by the taxpayers' money, decided to engage in unethical conduct by dealing with witnesses on the other side, inviting them to perpetuate lies.
That's unfair to them.
On victims.
He's a lawyer. He will bear the consequences.
I will bear the consequences. I will bear the consequences.
But he's a lawyer.
I will bear. You mentioned his name.
You
mentioned his name. You mentioned so clearly who the cap fits. So you mentioned his name. I didn't mention his name. I told you attorney generals, and I used plural. You mentioned his name.
Unfair. It's not true.
So, this was the situation we found ourselves. When not long ago, and I'm glad Solo made references to it, when the judiciary, under the leadership of His Lordship, the revered Bafo Boni, started making reforms and getting the judiciary to work for all Ghanaians, including MPP members. Many of them, they are leading members in Parliament, refer to them as paymasters of the executive.
Including Kamal.
On this same platform.
Paymasters.
Today, you see the hypocrisy of the NPP.
Too much.
They are, since yesterday, they have been on the top of their voices.
And I think I have to clear myself.
Condemning, celebrating.
Yes.
and thanking the Supreme Court
submission in context, so that
for
you will not
ruling in a way that favors them. That is not a victory for the NDC. This is that is not a victory for the MPP.
But Hunter,
this is a victory for the National Democratic Congress and His Excellency President Mahama process. But that is why I'm saying that these are the very people who didn't believe in the judicial process.
Oh,
they told you.
But
that the judiciary we have.
Cup. Don't drink from their cup.
No. But no.
Everyone will drink from that cup.
But Ghanaians need to know. MFI, you see, that is why on this same platform, I remember that any point in time that the laws work against them, I told you that they find everything wrong with the law.
They even boycotted the
when it works in their favor, they celebrate. And I'm telling you that the MPP today should not just stop at the thanking of the Supreme Court. Yes. They should extend that thanks to a gentleman who occupies the seat of the presidency, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, who is not interested in interfering with judicial processes in this country.
What's your take
to achieve political
aims? What's your take on take on the Supreme Court?
And then now back on the judicial process. That's why I told that it's two strands. I told that my submissions are two strands. That's the first strand.
Okay, the second.
And the second strand goes to the earlier discussion we had here last week. If you followed me clearly, Solo was seated here. And when Solo made references to CI-19 and the automatic stay and subsequent, I prompted him about Rule 27.2, which says under CI-19 that even after the 7 days, the application should still be treated as an automatic stay. Didn't I say that? As a stay. Didn't I say that? I made that point. And I proceeded to make references to the Vincent Asafua ruling.
Yes, you did.
You can play the video.
No, you did.
I proceeded to make references to the Vincent Asafua ruling and said that based on that ruling, it is difficult to have a tentative position
on the matter.
And I didn't end there. I told you that there's constitutional basis for the conduct of the clerk of parliament, but also proceeded to say that I would not have faulted the clerk for also exercising a discretion not to write that letter. Didn't I say that on this platform?
You are fine-tuning what you said last.
No, he said it.
Didn't you play back the video?
What has happened is what you are.
So you see, when it comes to those of us in the national
position was that we should reinstate Nyenam. Nyenam is home.
Fine-tuning what you said last.
I'm not. That's why I'm telling you, I'm challenging them to replay that video.
They will not replay it. You are fine-tuning.
So you see,
as you are doing press conferences, Nyenam is still home.
Let me land.
I'm surprised about this.
And I made the point. I was clear that as far as I'm concerned, I do not see anything wrong with the decision of the clerk of parliament to honor his constitutional responsibility under Article 1125 to proceed to declare. I made that point.
Yes, you did.
And that if there are any issues, it is the court that would not have to stop the electoral commission from proceeding to organize the election. I made that point too.
That I recall.
Clearly. And that is what the court has done. And for us in the National Democratic Congress, when we sit on platform of this nature to speak, we just don't speak advancing our political aims and objectives. We are minded by the national interest. And that is the distinct difference between the NDC and the NPP.
Okay.
And the videos of what I said, I have them here. All the last week's.
I mean, if you don't, so you see, we can pull it up if we have time.
Yes.
It's both of you, your word against each other. I recall what each of you said. But anyway, Dr. Zato, it is now Dr. Zato's turn. He was quiet all through. I expect the same for him too.
No problem.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that at least the elders have spoken. The Supreme Court, they are the elders. They have shown maturity. And I think that the ruling they've come out is actually, I find that ruling particularly weird.
The suspension?
Yeah, weird in the sense that mostly when courts rule, they determine winners and losers. But in this particular case, it seems everybody has won. Everybody is happy with the ruling that has come from the court. And that's why I'm saying that it's weird. So I don't want to look at it not from the legal position, which I can't advance, but from the politics and the policy positions of what they have said. I've heard the NDC Deputy Director of Elections and everything praising this ruling. He's very happy, he's very excited. And I'm like, what is happening? And I've also seen that the NDC has already gone to conduct a campaign and the bees, I'll come to the bees very soon. But so it did ask me. So you saw the MPP lawyers, they were happy, they were magnanimous, they were happy with the courts for their ruling and they thanked the court. And then you've seen the NDC also saying that we're happy with it. Then the question is why? Current polling we have indicates that Nyendam is on his path to winning, to retaining that seat if election was happening. There is evidence and there's data to that effect that if it happens, there's evidence to the fact that Nyendam is
on by who? Who
Global Info Analytics.
Oh, today you people believe
But
today you people believe
Global Info Analytics said it's close to call.
So you still say this matter. So I'm saying outside that. So there's evidence, there's data that shows that if elections were happen today, he's leading his competitor back.
But you're not mindful of the margin of error.
I'm margins of error. So that I said today, I'm saying that is the evidence. That's the poll. I'm talking to a yes, it's true. Yes, people went within margin of errors. The margin of error actually just know that his victory could be higher or lower, but the question remains that he's there.
So this particular margin of error suggests that to go to the other side.
Yes.
No, but I'm telling you that. But the margin